This level of self-mastery can completely transform you, and this is precisely the transformation you're striving for. Miyamoto Musashi mastered this art, becoming the greatest samurai philosopher in history. His treatise, The Book of Five Rings, offers a comprehensive system for attaining such self-control. These 5 rings teach 5 fundamental principles capable of turning a weak person into an unbreakable one. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of how to apply these principles to reach an extraordinary level of discipline. Let's begin with the Ring of Earth, which defines your starting point. This ring demands ruthless honesty with yourself. Many people believe they're very busy, but in reality, they're just constantly distracted. Musashi noted, "The way of the warrior is the way of 2 arts, the pen and the sword." His point was the need to develop both mind and body in harmony. But first, you must objectively assess their current state. After defeating Sasaki Kojiro in his most famous duel, Musashi didn't celebrate. Instead, he withdrew into a cave for 2 years to analyze his own imperfections. The triumphant warrior spent 2 years dissecting the reasons he was just a hair's breadth away from defeat. That's the mindset of the Ring of Earth. Let's see how this applies today. Imagine a man convinced he's productive. Let's call him Gohan. His morning begins with exhaustion. His hand instinctively reaches for his smartphone, and he starts checking emails before even getting out of bed. "I'm starting my day productively," he tells himself. He arrives late to work, opens 15 tabs in his browser, and frantically switches between them. His lunch break quietly stretches into an hour and a half of watching videos. The afternoon is the same, more tab switching, more phone checking. He comes home exhausted from being busy. Sound familiar? Gohan decides to track how he actually spends his time for a week. The results are shocking. 6 hours of screen time on his phone, only 2 hours of real focused work, and 8 hours of meaningless activity yielding no results. The principle of the Ring of Earth: be aware of both the smallest details and the bigger picture. Musashi implied that one must see both the parts and the whole. Most people see neither. Time tracking reveals the truth. You're not busy, you're weak. You don't have a time problem, you have a focus problem. You don't need more hours in the day, you need to use the ones you have effectively. This realization hit Gohan hard. He wasn't a productivity machine battling time, he was an easily distracted man lying to himself. His packed schedule was just an illusion of work. His exhaustion was self-betrayal. Most people, if they analyze their day, will find they're truly productive for only 2 to 3 hours. Everything else is pseudo-work, busyness, avoidance, distraction disguised as diligence. That's why motivation doesn't work. You can't motivate yourself out of delusion. First, you need the honesty of the Ring of Earth. Track everything. Face the uncomfortable truth. Admit that you've been lying to yourself. Reality doesn't care about your excuses, and neither did Musashi. In his work Do, he wrote, "Accept everything just as it is." When Gohan saw his real numbers, everything changed, not because he became more hardworking, but because he could no longer ignore the truth. 6 hours on the phone, 2 hours of real work. These numbers were burned into his mind. But realizing your weakness is only the first step. What happens when you try to change, when you seriously begin to work on discipline? At this point, the Ring of Water comes into play. The Ring of Earth shows you reality. The Ring of Water teaches you what to do when that reality resists. Gohan saw the truth. 6 hours wasted, only 2 productive. His reaction? A total life overhaul. Wake up at 4 a.m., 2-hour workout, 8 hours of deep work, cold showers, meditation, 2 hours of reading at night. On the first day, he lasted until 6 a.m. and burned out by noon. That's where the Ring of Water helps. Musashi wrote, "Water takes the shape of the vessel into which it is poured." Many interpret this as flexibility, but that's not quite right. The essence is to stop fighting reality with unrealistic plans. Few people know that early in his career, Musashi never used the same weapon twice in his first 20 duels. Sword, spear, wooden staff, even bare hands. Why? to learn that rigid plans collapse on contact with reality. Gohan's mistake is everyone's mistake. You see your flaws and create the perfect schedule. Military precision, zero flexibility. Reality hits back, you fail, quit, and tell yourself you lack discipline. Wrong. You lack the qualities of water. Gohan learned this. Instead of waking at 4 a.m., he woke just 30 minutes earlier. Instead of a 2-hour workout, he did 10 push-ups. Instead of 8 hours of deep work, he focused for 25 minutes, then took a break. This is pathetic, he thought, until the second week when he realized he'd done 70 push-ups and 175 minutes of focused work without missing a single day. That's the ring of water in action. Flow around obstacles instead of trying to smash through them. Can't do 100 push-ups? Do 10. Can't read a chapter? Read a page. Can't meditate for 20 minutes? Do 2. Think you're the exception? Even Musashi started with wooden swords. He practiced basic strikes for years before his first real duel. That's strategic genius. Musashi wrote, "In strategy, make your enemy think you are far when you are near." Apply this to discipline. Make the task think it's winning while you quietly gain ground. Your brain expects you to quit after 10 minutes? Do 11. Expect to stop at the first page? Read the second. Each small victory rewires your identity. You become someone who doesn't quit. Gohan discovered something crucial. Discipline isn't heroic effort. It's consistent adaptation. When 10 push-ups became easy, he did 15. When 25 minutes of focus felt short, he made it 30. Water erodes stone not by force, but by persistence. Habits work the same way. Small, consistent pressure beats grand, rare effort. By week 4, Gohan naturally woke up at 5 a.m., trained for 45 minutes daily, and did 4 hours of deep work. Not because he forced himself, but because he had flowed into it. But here's where it gets harder. Once you see progress, once you start winning, a new enemy appears. The Ring of Fire explains what happens when victory breeds danger. In week 4, Gohan was thriving. 5 a.m. wake-ups, daily workouts, but then he noticed others lifting twice as much, younger people signing million-dollar deals, runners finishing marathons while he was proud of his 45-minute workouts. Anger consumed him. I'm worthless. I'm so far behind. What's the point? He skipped one workout, then another. The decline began. At this moment, the Ring of Fire changes everything. In the Book of Five Rings, Musashi wrote about fire, how it spreads, consumes, and transforms. Most people let anger consume them. Warriors use it to forge themselves. Musashi learned this in childhood. His father died when he was 7. Instead of becoming a victim, he turned rage into discipline. 14 hours of daily practice fueled not against anger, but through it. Every strike of his wooden sword carried his fury. But here's the key. He directed that anger at his weaknesses, not at himself. In Dokudo, he wrote, "Do not envy the good or evil of others." Not because envy is immoral, but because it burns precious fuel. Every second spent resenting others' success is energy you could use to destroy your own mediocrity. The principle of the Ring of Fire: dissatisfaction with your mediocrity is your fuel, not your failure. Gohan's turning point came suddenly. Staring into the mirror, frustrated by slow progress, he almost said, "I'm pathetic," but stopped. "I refuse to remain pathetic." Same emotion, different target. Everything changed. The voice that tells you you're not good enough isn't your enemy. It's your inner drill sergeant. The problem isn't the voice. It's that you attack yourself instead of the problem. Gohan created a new ritual. Each night he wrote down what exactly frustrated him. Only did 30 push-ups. Checked my phone during deep work. Ate junk food for lunch. Then he turned each frustration into a concrete next day task. Angry about 30 push-ups? Tomorrow, minimum 35. Mad about checking the phone? Tomorrow, phone stays in another room. Annoyed by food choices? Tomorrow's lunch is prepped in advance. Emotions aren't good or bad. They're just energy. The question is where you direct it. Direct anger at yourself, you self-destruct. Direct it at weakness, you evolve. He created a new ritual. Morning, Acknowledge what he hates about his current self. Evening, turn that hatred into tomorrow's plan. Not positive affirmations, but productive rage. 2 weeks later, his progress doubled. Not because he found motivation, but because he stopped wasting anger on self-blame and started using it for self-improvement. The anger didn't disappear. It found purpose. But anger creates another trap, one that destroyed many warriors. What happens when anger breeds success, when progress breeds pride? After 3 months, Gohan had transformed. He woke up at 4:30 a.m. without an alarm, 100 push-ups were easy, 4 hours of deep work daily. Friends asked what happened, family suspected a cult. And then came the whisper, "You've made it. You're disciplined now. You can relax."